This is intended for mature audiences. There are sexual themes, lots of violence, prolific amounts of profanity, and lots of other inappropriate stuff. Please don't let your kids listen to this.
And that's just from Itchy.
That's very true.
Ever had one of those mornings? You wake up and you roll out of bed with a massive hangover, and when you know it, there's a dead body outside. Wonderful. Turns out this little weasel named Cecil found himself at the wrong end of a barrel sometime in the night. The sheriff is all high and tight about finding out who done it, but it seems pretty obvious to me. Red Harrington. What's worse is that there's this short fella named Itchy who's got this damn dancing horse and a voice that could shatter glass. And on the opposite side, this big, henchy-looking fella named Arthur who looks like he would sooner hit a feller than shoot him. This is gonna be a long day, I reckon.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
A universe in peril.
The clang of sword hitting sword.
The beating of iron hearts in chests.
The smell of horse sweat and the clink of bullets being loaded into a six-shooter.
The scent of fresh, unsullied wilderness.
The galaxy's most unlikely group of heroes.
The rolling thunder of war machines.
The electric energy of an adventure yet to unfold.
An enemy like none other.
The rattle of spurs.
The smell of raw magic searing the air.
The rumblings of an unholy union.
The true power of teamwork.
The bitter sting of a dust storm on your skin.
The clattering of spent lead.
The haunting low of 1,000 longhorns on the Texas prairie.
The
Multiverse Collective.
So while Slick goes back to his room to sleep off his hangover, is there anything that Itchy and Arthur are interested in doing?
Arthur is going to go back to his tent. He's going to just sit down and he's going to pull out his cooking supplies and just start making himself some breakfast. This is the time he gets up every day, so he's sort of got a routine and he's sort of got disturbed by all the ruckus in town.
So I think Itchy is going to go back into the saloon. He's going to, again, take probably another good 15 seconds to clamber down Evander back onto the ground, kind of wipe himself off, and he's going to be like, all right, I'm going to go get some breakfast. Evander, you stay out of trouble now. And he's just going to leave Evander. He's going to walk in. I think Evander is going to go follow Arthur.
Yeah, Evander follows Arthur. Evander's head is poking through the front of your tent right now. There's nothing you can do about it. This horse weighs 2,500 pounds and is a brick shithouse of an animal. But you notice that your tent's kind of bobbing up and down a little bit, and it is because Evander is still prancing in place. Sort of anxiously.
Arthur's just gonna look at Evander and just think to himself, why? It's just, and then he's just gonna he's just also thinking to himself, if I shot this horse, would he miss it?
I don't know the answer to that question, actually.
I don't think any of us do.
Yeah,
So he's just gonna grumble to himself and continue making his breakfast, and then he'll probably grab some of his provisions he's got for Bessie, his horse, and just throw it outside. So, Evander at least takes his head out of the tent.
Yes, with this, Evander does remove his head from the tent and begins eating your horse's food.
No, I think Evander's polite. He would wait for the horse.
Milady.
Okay, yes, so Evander tips his hat to Bessie and, and lets her eat first. Ichi, as you are back in the saloon eating your breakfast, you'll notice that the working girls do make their way back in, probably when you're like midway through your meal. And they are talking amongst themselves. And a lot of it's in German, and I'm not going to try and recreate that because I did not practice my German accent before this session, which may have been a mistake. But you do hear one of them speaking English, and that would be the proprietor of this saloon, who is a Dolly Parton-esque woman with big blonde hair and huge tits she has like pushed all the way up underneath of her chin, and a very provocative looking red dress. And you can hear her telling them, well, I ain't seen nothing after he went to jail last night. That was the last time I saw him. I think he was maybe back in here for 10 minutes before he left again. But I didn't see him at all. He was just at the bar. She is not talking to you, but it's impossible to not hear her because she has one of those piercing voices and she's not trying to be quiet.
I also think there is nothing... Ichi does not know somebody is not talking to him. So I think he sidles on up to this woman, and he's just like, well, you know, I took an early night last night, but and he just like snaps his suspenders again, and he's just like, I'm on the case here. I don't know if you saw it there, but I've become the interim deputy on this case. So if there's anything that you know, ma'am, I think that information is safe with me.
She looks at you like you have multiple heads.
She would absolutely know who Ichi is.
Yeah.
He's very loud, but he somehow is very endearing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like she hates him. He has given her quite a bit of his money in the last day or so that you've been in town. A couple of days maybe at this point.
He's been in town for, I imagine that he's been in town for about 2 weeks, and he's been like, he has enough money to, like, he had enough money to like get in the good graces with the townspeople, but then his money very quickly ran out, and he's been basically bar backing and like cleaning to stay in the inn, and he's also been like, I imagine that to keep himself able to be whoring around, as it were, he probably does like jobs for, he probably does like, you know, helps fix the house and like, I don't know.
I'm glad you said that, because in my mind I just pictured Itchy in like a big red dress, like an oversized red dress. Racketeering for
there's a very particular kind of man in town that Rose will turn to you, and she's like, oh, Itchy's here. She's like, Itchy, honey, you know it's $5 if you want to talk to me for longer than this.
Well, you know I ain't got that kind of money no more, but I'm sure there's $5 of repairs I can find, scrounge around on the premises. You know I'm good for it.
I feel like Itchy talks so loud, Slick can't fall back asleep. he just hears this buffoon downstairs.
You're just like laying in bed, flat on your back, staring at the ceiling, and this is like directly under you.
He groans, gets back up, and starts to head downstairs again.
I imagine Itchy is in the exact right place all the time to just have, like, his voice just matches the resonant frequency of the wood, and so it just carries all the way through.
I'm so glad I'm in a campsite.
You have the horse, though.
Yeah, you do have the horse. They're both loud.
I feel like I can
He's
deal
not
with a
doing
dancing
too much.
horse.
He's just prancing.
I feel like a dancing horse is easier to deal with than a voice that resonates through wood.
So Slick has been apprised of this entire conversation.
Yeah.
And comes back downstairs. And he sort of looks at Itchy, looks at the barmaid, and goes, dude's not part of this investigation. I don't know why he lied to you like that, but man, if you could keep it down, that'd be great.
She turns to you with a smile because she wants your money more than anything. Because you are like the white whale that's rolled into town. Nobody quite knows anything about you yet, but they do know that you have money and that you keep winning at poker. So she turns to you with like this big old simpering smile and she's like, oh, Itchy's harmless. He just likes to talk. A lot.
Itchy's how he makes me feel, that's for damn sure. Man, look, I'm just trying to sleep up there.
Now, I know y'all are interested in what's going on with all that hullabaloo outside, but I wouldn't trouble yourself with it. Cecil, he kept getting in trouble over and over and over again. I thought they'd keep him in jail for sure last night. After that poker incident.
I mean, I was playing with him. I don't think he lost that much. Was he able to... I didn't pay attention. Was he able to pay? I don't remember if that was...
No, he didn't pay. Red practically chased him out of here.
Yeah, I mean, he owed a lot of money. Wait. Red, I mean, if anything, I'd say it's probably Red. Who's this Red guy? I don't know anything about him. He just played cards. But I mean, if I were to guess, that's who shot him. Seems like a pretty open and shut case.
She looks at you kind of thoughtfully and she says, huh. I didn't think about it like that. But,
I mean, a man owes money. Somebody's gonna want to shoot him.
Oh, who owes who money ain't none of my business. All that I care about is that they keep coming here. Now, if you will excuse me, gentlemen, I have some business to attend to upstairs.
All right. He sort of stumbles off the side and makes room for her. He's barely left the stairs.
Yeah, I think Itchy will just, again, nod thoughtfully and just be like, well, let me know if you need anything in the meantime.
Don't go touching nothing weird, Itchy.
Not until I come to your place, that's for darn sure.
And she gives the best half-assed laugh she can because she does need his money, even if he is a little bit disgusting. But now it's just the two of you and the very unamused bartender, who you have annoyed for most of the morning and who is still a little bit damp from the beer that you sloshed on him earlier. He is very pointedly avoiding eye contact. He would love if you never spoke to him or looked at him ever again.
Slake walks over. He's just like, look, man, I'll do one more water for the road. I guess I'll go out there and see what I can find about this. So he'll take his water and go back outside. Is the crime scene still there, or has it pretty much been cleared up by the coroner?
Everything's pretty much been cleared up. No coroner here, unfortunately. The town's too small, but you would know that in a town of this size, the sheriff would just take the body back to either the barber or, in this case, the general store, where he also doubles as the barber.
Right across the street?
Yeah, it is.
I guess I'm gonna just sort of poke around and see if there's anything in the immediate vicinity that wasn't on the body. I mean, footprints are kind of a no-go at this point because so many people have been around, but
yeah,
I don't know, maybe there's a shell casing or something. You didn't see that it was a ball shot, but I don't know, something.
Yeah, I think as you come out of the saloon, if you're paying attention, how about you roll me, let's see, give me a tracking check. You may actually be able to, you may actually find something here.
That is 2 3s and a 1, no successes.
No successes. You are really not able to make anything out. Obviously the site has been
hangover.
Trampled like crazy. But you do know that Cecil was staying in the saloon, and his room probably hasn't been taken by anybody else yet.
Right. Yeah, it was probably, wasn't it? Probably near mine. I mean, how many rooms are in the saloon?
I think there are 6 rooms in the saloon total. A couple of them are used by the girls, but the others are available for travelers. And obviously, Itchy's been staying in one.
He'll go back inside and ask the bartender. It's like, hey, what room was Cecil staying in? I'm gonna poke around his stuff.
He points upstairs and he says, "End of the hall."
Cool, right next to mine. Nice. He'll go back upstairs and see if there's anything going on in the room.
As Slick goes upstairs,
he intentionally has been avoiding eye contact with Itchy.
I think Itchy's just been like watching the whole thing, and he overhears this going on. And so maybe like 10 seconds after Slick walks up the stairs, Itchy is just very performatively like, "Oh man, all right, we had a long day. I think I'm gonna take myself siesta."
It's 6:30 in the fucking morning.
I was about to say it's 6:30 to 7 in the morning.
and he's gonna walk right upstairs and try and also like follow his way into, Slick, would you close the door behind you?
Probably not. I mean, he's not in there trying to do anything weird. He's just
I think either way, Itchy's gonna like walk through the door and just like knock on the door and be like, "Hey, it's me, Itchy."
He
I'm here to help.
His head throbs with this fucking hangover. Like,
Somehow the whispering is even worse.
What can I do you for, Itchy?
Hey, I'm just trying to help out, man. I just wanna do some good in this town.
Slick looks up and he gets an idea and he turns and goes, "You want to help? I got an idea for you."
All right, what you got? Lay it on me.
I need you to make sure nobody comes upstairs. Give me a clean crime scene.
I think Itchy, you see like his eyes kind of widen for a second when Itchy's like, "Wait, somebody's asking me to help and it's like a legitimate thing." And you see Itchy like jumps up and like clicks his heels together, and he's just like, "Hey, all right, you got yourself a deal, partner."
Oh, real quick, roll an athletics check for me. I want to see if you actually manage to click your heels together or if you like trip yourself.
All right, athletics. Let's see. That's only 2 dice. No, it's
You just need 1 success and you click your heels together without tripping. But anything worse than that, you fall down the stairs. You got 1 success? Okay, yeah. Then you're fine. You click your heels together, life is good. It's shockingly dignified for something that you're doing, actually.
And so Itchy's just like, "You bet your ass. There's not no one person getting in there, getting up nor down. Itchy's gonna be on the case."
Rose pokes her head out of the door. "Can you keep it the fuck down, please?"
Yeah, I was about to say, we're trying to do this sneaky like, so we gotta, shh, hush, hush.
"All right, sorry about that." And Itchy just gives like a big cartoony wink. And so he just like he swaggers down the hall and he looks at Rose as she tries to close the door, but it's not quick enough. And so he just grabs the door as she's about to close, and he's just like, "Don't you worry. Itchy's on the case. We'll make sure that nobody else gets harmed.
Thanks,
You have
Itchy.
my word."
I appreciate that. If you don't mind. And she tries to shut the door again. Both hands on the door. It's like desperately pulling it shut.
Itchy grabs it one more time with one hand. He just does a very like dignified, like a military salute with the other. Lets it go, and I imagine that like the force of letting it go, like Rose like has to take a couple steps back.
Yeah, the door slams. It's so fucking loud.
This hangover.
And you just see Itchy like walking down the stairs and like standing very conspicuously, like leaning up against the banister, just like arms crossed, trying to make like a straight face. And he's just mumbling to himself. He's just like, yeah, nobody's gonna get up nor down. Not when Itchy's looking out.
Slick pokes his head out, just like an eye around the corner, just to make sure he's down there, and then quietly closes the door so he can examine this room in peace.
Yeah, Itchy the bouncer. I like the sound of that.
As you turn around into this room, you notice the first thing that it's trashed. Somebody has been through here, or Cecil was a pig. It's hard to tell which, but it's absolutely trashed. His stuff is everywhere. His clothes are all over the floor. His trunk, his big steamer trunk, is open, and there's like nothing left in it except for a couple spare pairs of long underwear. And across the bed, there are newspapers. Just a bunch of newspapers.
I'm gonna take a peek at those newspapers.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything stand out?
You see a few headlines. You see the Paulson gang steals 2,000 head of Angus. You see Holy Cedar rail stop opens on branch line to Galveston. You see another one that says Jebediah Rainey purchases 600,000 worthless acres. You see Red Devil strikes again. And you see outlaw Micah Paulson escapes jail. And each of those is an article that was written by Cecil Hardy.
Taking a quick look through his stuff, do I find anything else that might be like a threatening note or anything like that about these? Like, stop writing negative headlines about us or whatever.
You see an IOU that he's written to someone named Ezekiel Blankenship for $3,000. And that's all you see. There's nothing else.
Cecil, what are you into? He takes the IOU, he puts it in his pocket. I don't know if he'll take the headlines. He'll note them down, but I don't think that a bunch of newspapers is a lot to carry.
Yeah, they're pretty bulky. And if you skimmed over them, I can give you the information, probably off camera. Nobody wants me to go through like, this whole diatribe, but the headlines pretty much encompass what's going on.
So he'll he'll go to the door, intending to leave. Then he sighs. This guy's out here. All right, so he steals himself, opens the door, and comes on out. All right, there's not a whole lot to be had in here. I guess the room's clear.
All right, you find anything good?
A few pieces of paper, some newspapers. Not really.
Oh, come on. Let me see. You gotta show me the evidence, man.
He hands him the IOU. He owed somebody a lot of money.
You see Itchy take the IOU, and he's just been having kind of like a stupid grin on his face the whole time. You see he immediately gets stone-faced. And he gets like right up in like not in Slick's face, but like right up there, and he's like, "What the fuck was this guy doing with my brother?"
Slick stumbles back a little bit. He's like, wait, hold on. For clarification, was the IOU he owed money or he was owed money?
He owed money.
Okay,
It's
so
an
he
IOU.
owed money. He owed $3,000. Okay.
He was writing the IOU. It looked like something that he hadn't given.
That's what I took it to mean, but then I realized if he had the IOU, it might be he was owed the money. But okay. I don't know, man. Look, I barely even know who you are.
Well, I was hoping we would be, I was hoping it'd be a little bit better terms, but I guess I got to give you my whole family history now.
Oh,
Why
you
don't
don't
you sit
gotta
down?
do that. No. Where? Why don't we go show this to the sheriff?
All right, that's probably a good idea. Show him the
Yeah,
evidence.
you can
and
tell
whatnot.
him your life story. That's a good idea.
All right, I'm sure the sheriff is. I'm sure that's going to be pertinent evidence in this case that he's a foreman.
I'm sure it is. So we'll head down the stairs and poke outside and see if the sheriff is in the immediate vicinity.
Yeah, you don't see the sheriff on the main street, but you do notice a very large horse just prancing around outside of a tent.
Evander, get on over here.
Your horse is harassing that guy.
No, Evander wouldn't harass a fly. Evander, come on over here.
I feel like all Evander does is harass.
Arthur comes out with his tent and he walks over to Itchy. You owe me some horse feed. And the thing is, he started speaking like him because he's got that perplexed by Itchy that he's starting to imitate his twang.
It's like how everything evolves to be crabs. Everything evolves to be Itchy.
We're all gonna have the same accent by the end of this.
Hey, you'll all be sounding like
when-
this. I think Itchy, he reaches into his back pocket and he pulls out like he pulls out a coin purse, and he very deliberately pulls out a wad of cash, and he is like, $1, $2, $3. And he's just like, I know Evander's a big guy. This should probably cover it, huh?
It's a start. Now you gotta pay me for disturbing my peace in the morning.
I like that you're just shaking him down.
And you can see that Arthur's just really pissed off because he likes to eat his breakfast,
Without a
and
without
do
a
everything
horse staring at
quietly
him,
and that like
vibrating
Yeah.
the entire tent. Well, don't you worry about that. I'm sure there'll be more where that came from. You stick around old Itchy long enough, I'm sure you'll be getting what you need.
I'm hoping to get out of this town today.
Well, I don't know if that's gonna be in the cards for any of us with the sheriff around, but we'll see. Might have been able to find some evidence that we can pass off to him that, might get the rest of us out of this jam at least. Have you seen him by chance? Well, you've been in the tent with the horse.
You can't really see much past that motherfucking giant
He's a
horse.
beard, ain't he? You see one single tear like falls down.
Sure is
He's
a
my
horse.
pride and joy. I don't know what I'd do if I lost him.
Arthur just thinks back, thinking, I'm so glad I didn't shoot that horse.
Oh, fuck.
I feel like all of a sudden Evander has just shown up and is like just licking Itchy's face, and he's just like, "Oh, get over here, you big asshole!"
So you guys definitely don't see the sheriff on the street, but you probably would know that the jail is just a very short walk away. It's just on the opposite side of the empty lot where Arthur's been camping. That would be probably a good bet.
Slick will stumble that direction.
Yeah. How are you feeling, bud? I don't think there's really a con check, but give
vigor?
me a
Just straight vigor.
Give me a straight vigor check.
That's one success.
Yeah, you definitely gotta puke. Whatever you've put down
Oh.
this morning it's coming back.
He'll stop in the middle of the street. He'll turn around, look at the other two, and point at him and be like, "You go find him. I'll be a second." And he'll stumble off to the side street to throw up.
When he says that, Arthur just thinks to himself, leaving me with this guy again. And just sort of like beeline straight for the sheriff's office. He doesn't even like wait up for Richie. He just like straight up speed walks across the street. Like doesn't want to even talk to him. Just get there so he doesn't have to be the one to have this conversation.
If you were to turn and look down the alley, you'd see Slick just doing the most undignified vomit against the wall.
You see Itchy is like trying so hard to keep up with Arthur, but his legs are small. He can't do it.
And Evander is slowly, menacingly prancing down the street behind you.
I'm just gonna... Evander's doing a different dance every time. This time he's moonwalking.
Why not?
Will you tell that damn horse to stay still?
I don't think still's in either of our dictionary, friend.
You can feel Arthur's eye roll nationwide. Like everyone can feel how hard he just rolled his eyes.
Now look, the last time I tried to have Evander stand still, he threw the biggest tantrum I done ever seen. He didn't speak to me for 2 whole days. He wouldn't even take a sugar cube out of my mouth like he usually does.
I think you got some demons in your blood, son.
You see Itchy just get very serious one more time, and he's just like, I know.
The only time he speaks normal.
Guys, I am so sorry.
You've committed now.
Oh,
This
great.
is what's happening to us.
This is the voice for the rest of Wild Wild West. You've got to stick with it the whole way through.
Yeah.
Oh, you goddamn know it.
But by the time you guys have finished this conversation, he's rallied. He's looking a little bit better, actually. Staying a little bit taller. So yeah, about the, sheriff. Did you find the sheriff yet? What's going on?
Nah, we were just talking about the one time that I made Evander stop dancing and...
Cool, we're gonna go into the sheriff's office now.
Yeah, the jail is just like a short, squat brick building. It's one of the only 2 brick buildings in town. The other being the Pink Pony Saloon and Inn, naturally. And you'll notice out on the porch is actually the young, Gumby-looking child that is the sheriff's deputy. He's sitting out there and he has a cigarette in his mouth, but not lit. And he is rocking in a rocking chair, twirling his pistol in his hand.
Arthur's just gonna walk straight past him. This is man's business. There's no room for children to be in the way of men using guns. So he just walks straight into the sheriff's office.
On his way by, Slick will stop. He'll look over at him. He'll light the cigarette, and then he won't say anything else, and he'll walk inside.
Hey! Y'all can't be going in there like that! You can't be going in there like that!
Excuse me, son, I am the interim deputy of this case. I think me and my cohorts, we can go where we please.
That is entirely untrue. I am the deputy.
You were there this morning when the sheriff told me to perimeterize the area. That's basically a lawful order. I'm basically on your level.
He stares at you, and his mouth is wide open.
During this argument, I think Arthur and Slick slip inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely inside at this point. But before I look at the sheriff, I'm going to see if there's a bounty board.
Yeah, there is. There is a bounty board. And on that bounty board...
I'm just going to peruse it.
Yeah, for sure. You see the Paulson gang listed individually. You see Micah Paulson with a $3,500 bounty. You see Chicken Cash with a $2,000 bounty. And you see Johnny Boy Ramirez with a $1,000 bounty. You also see Red Harrigan, who you would recognize, Slick, with a $500 bounty. And I would like to point out that Red Harrigan has the fattest fucking red mustache in the entire world, despite having a baby face. And you notice that there is one more tack on the board with some ripped paper. Like there was one other bounty posted that's not there anymore.
I'm gonna look at the sheriff and go,
Who's the bounty?
Oh, sheriff's not in here.
No.
Oh.
I'm gonna go back outside, and I'm gonna pick up the 10-year-old child.
Who's still arguing with Itchy.
He is actually 19, but for all intents and purposes, he looks a lot younger than he actually
I'll
is.
walk outside and go,
Itchy, shut up.
pick up the tiny man. Drop him in front of the bounty board. Like proper, you know when you see somebody poke something and it's with enough force to knock something over. I'm gonna point where the ripped bounty is and go,
Who's it for?
Do you want to give me a strong arm check? He is gonna roll it opposed to you. He may be small, but he does have a lot of confidence.
I might be big and I have very little confidence, so we're all right. I got 2 successes.
Oh, so did he. Roll me one more.
6.
Woo. You notice he gets very wide-eyed all of a sudden. This is the first time that he's really felt the heat. He is a child in a very small town, and the sheriff is presumably his father. And he's like, well, that one was for Black. I think his name is Black.
You see Arthur's face go hard and steely and go,
What's the price?
5,000. 5,000. And he gets a little bit more confident, and he nods his head at you. He's like, 5,000. That was the big one. That one was the big one. He's a little nervous. You made him nervous.
He pulls a chair and he goes,
Sit down, son. Has he been seen in this area?
He immediately sits down. So fast. You're the father figure that he's wanted.
Itchy's just watching this from the door, and he's just like, now how'd you get him to do that?
because of how pissed Arthur is because of Black, because he's been chasing Black now for months and he's not got anywhere. He just looks at Itchy with this cold, dead stare, like a shut up stare.
I think Itchy immediately just puts his hand up and takes like 4 steps back.
And then he looks back at the small man. We'll call him a small man. If he's 19, he's he's an adult now. And he goes,
yeah, I mean, no one's asked his name, so I think small man makes sense. He's not going to volunteer this information. You've terrified him.
Jonathan Smallman.
Now, son, has he been seen around these parts?
I don't know that. I just watched the jail when Mr. Lowe in here. I don't know nothing about nothing, but that dead guy, he was asking about him too. He wanted the picture, so I let him have the picture. But I don't know. I don't know.
I need you to tell me something, son. Was there an ace of spades at the crime scene?
And he's looking at the ground like he's thinking. Every single brain cell he's got is working really hard at this.
All three.
Oh yeah, if even that's been a little generous. And he's shaking his head and he's like, I don't remember.
Arthur's gonna kneel down and he's gonna look at him straight in the eyes and he's go,
Son, I need you to remember. You see this man here?
and he's gonna point at Slick. Don't even know who Slick is really. And you go,
He's the muscle of this operation.
Yeah, as he said this, Slick stepped outside and was just like,
Well, looks like I gotta do this the hard way.
he pulls out his pistol and goes, and then he pulls out his bounty poster of Byron Black and he goes,
I've been chasing this sumbitch for 3 months now. You don't tell me if he's been seen or if there's been an ace of spades. I swear to you, I will turn this town upside down trying to find him.
He's rolling something really fast. Oh wow. Wow, he rolled so poorly. Just that was a lot of dice, and he rolled really bad. He pees himself,
oh no.
and he's crying. I'm very sorry. I don't know anything. This is a lot. I ain't never seen a dead body before today, and I don't know what's going on.
Look, son, look. I'm not gonna hurt you. Okay? I just need information.
What about him? And he points at Slick.
what about me? I'm just,
He's the lady.
what? I'm just.
You said he was the muscle.
I was just bullshitting you, son. I'm the muscle here.
As Slick looks at him, he's a pretty scrawny guy, and then he looks at Arthur, who's probably, I imagine he's pretty buff, and goes,
Yeah, he's just like, he's been doing this.
In my head, Arthur is actually just Jason Statham.
Yeah, I see it.
just bald hench. The bald man's
his arms
dream,
have
you know?
never been down.
Yeah, he just walks like this.
Meanwhile, Itchy is just like a short Seth Rogen.
I imagine
Yeah.
Ishi being played by Danny DeVito.
We know.
Yeah, that's what I've
Yes.
been thinking. Danny
Actually,
DeVito.
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
He's 28, but he looks like Danny DeVito.
I imagined him so much older, just because of the way he is. Yeah,
Texas ages a man.
yeah, bro.
Living
Yeah.
in the brush for 4 weeks with nothing but a dancing horse. It really does numbers to you.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be like,
Look, son, I'm not gonna hurt you. I just need you to tell me what I need to know. I'm here from New York. And if I don't get home soon, I'm gonna start losing it.
This kid would love to help you, but he is covered in piss.
Arthur
he-
pulls out like a rag, like just like a rag out of his pocket and goes,
You
Clean
you
yourself
dabbing
up,
in
son.
his piss
no,
pants
I'm
now?
not
Yeah.
having it. Just like that. I give him the
Great,
rag.
because we already had like the little weird horse bestiality earlier. We don't also need whatever that is.
It's called Dressage. You hear Itchy from outside.
He's explaining what's happening with the horse to like a passing townsperson who's like, what the fuck is that?
It's an art form.
Oh, fucking
He's
hell.
just harassing random people walking by. Slick puts his arm on Arthur's shoulder. Goes, look, man, I don't think whatever you need this kid's gonna give you. We need to find the sheriff.
Son, where's the sheriff?
He might be over by the rectory. The pastor found the body this morning. I think he maybe wanted to talk to him a little bit more. And he's trying to not cry anymore because he's very embarrassed that he's pissed his pants in front of 2 grown men and Danny DeVito.
Arthur's gonna holster his pistol, put his bounty poster back in his pocket, and he's gonna pull out $5 and go,
this is for your trouble, son.
and, puts it on the side. Don't give it him because he's got pissy hands and pissy pants, Be a bit more respectful. And then he just stands up and goes,
looks like we're going to the rectory.
and just beeline straight out. That anger that he's got inside of him, he knows. Now that he knows that Cecil, dead man from this morning, has a link to this poster. It's getting him even angrier.
Wait, 1 second. He stops you. And in his hand, he has a note. And the note just says to speak to Ezekiel and maybe try and get an interview with Jebediah. And that's all the note says. And he says he left this in his cell.
Yeah, Arthur takes the note and just tips his hat, sparks up a ciggy, and just walks. And then he goes to Itchy.
Do you know any Ezekiels?
Oh no.
You just see him become stone-faced again. Anytime the name Ezekiel is mentioned, God damn, this is the second time somebody's talked about my brother today, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I look back at Slick and go,
I think.
Yeah, I was the first one. Yeah. And he'll hand Arthur the IOU, just for context.
Arthur's just gonna read over it. Look how much it is, and he's gonna look straight into the soul of Itchy. He's not even looking in his eyes. He can feel this. Yeah, he can feel this stare, and he's gonna go,
I got a job for you, Itchy. Go and find your brother. Bring him to the saloon.
Would Itchy have any idea of his brother being in the area? I know the last time that Itchy saw him was the night that the ranch got taken, and he left with Evander and anything that he could hold in a satchel, basically.
Yeah, you would have no idea where your brother is. None at all. This is probably the first time you've heard his name since that's happened.
I think for the first time since you met him, Itchy is also just the kind of guy who vibrates, cannot be sitting still. So he's tapping his foot or fiddling with something on his coat, and you see Itchy stiffen and stay still for the first time all day, which for Itchy, it's a pretty noticeable shift. And he just looks back at Arthur and Slick, and he's like, if I knew anything about my brother, that son of a bitch would be dead. He'd be dead years ago. So, to answer your question, I really don't know too much about his whereabouts at the current moment, but don't you worry. Now that I know he's sniffing around these ports, I'm gonna make sure his head comes home on a stake. He's a bad man.
All right, but before that, let's have a chat with him, because clearly he knows what's going on with this murder.
Exactly.
Well, you're gonna have to hold me back to do that.
Once we've talked to him, you can do whatever you want with the head sticking.
Oh, don't you worry. I was trying to do
A Batman
I was trying
voice.
to copy your voices.
No, that was perfect. No notes.
Don't you
10,
worry.
10.
Y'all talk with him. I'm gonna make sure that he pays for his deeds. Now let's get on to go where we're going. Y'all said we're going to the rectory?
Yes.
Evander, let's go! Come on, we got a new mission. Yeah!
Can't you stable that
He
horse?
jumps on the horse to like walk 5 steps up the street.
Like, we can see it from here. It's right there.
It is literally the next building. This is an incredibly small town.
Are you telling a man to be without his horse?
Yes.
Now, if I didn't know you two fellers better, I'd see that as an act of disrespect.
You don't know us better.
I mean, come on, we're partners here. We're basically lifelong friends at this point.
Oh, don't say things like that. Don't put that evil on us.
You're right.
Let's just go to the rectory.
I gotta slow down here just in case something happens. I don't need to be grieving for all that length of time. Evander knows when I get sad, oh boy, it's like a hurricane rolling through.
I can imagine.
You hear the same exasperated cigarette sigh as earlier this morning. And he just walks up straight over to the rectory. He doesn't even listen to what Itchy's saying. He just.
I say, by the time we're done with
out.
this conversation, we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Itchy is just like going on.
You were there before this conversation even started.
I think Itchy is like giving the exposition as to how he got there, and I think it's even funnier if he's saying like legitimate things that might actually help find Ezekiel, but he's just so insufferable that like it is physically impossible to like listen to him.
Yeah, you just hear Arthur going,
Oh, yeah, Slick's checked out.
And he's all he's thinking about is getting to the sheriff. He's like thinking about what he's gonna ask him, and he's not even like paying a single attention to what
It's
he's
just white
saying.
noise.
Yeah.
Slick goes into the rectory as he's just talking.
And like as Itchy's walking in, he's finishing up and he's like, wow, y'all sure are two great listeners. I don't have too many people like that in my life no more, so you know, I gotta say, I'm really thankful for y'all. This is great. We're like the three amigos over here.
Itchy, I need you to do a job. Secure the perimeter.
And I think that's exactly where we're gonna leave it. That is perfect.
Holy shit.
Dear God.
Oh, wow.